Hey guys, today I want to do something that's more of a confessional. Um, and this is really embarrassing and hard for me to do this vlog because I've been avoiding it for a very long time, talking directly about this thing. You know how before you're a parent, for me, because I have 4 kids, before I was a parent, I kind of had ideas about how I wanted to parent and what I wanted to do and what I wanted to say and how things would work. And then I became a parent. And there's kind of some things I did stick with. Some things just flew out the window. And some things flew out the window and then came back. And I was like, you know what? I may have been naive when I said those first things, but I really am going to try for those. And that doesn't just apply to parenthood. I had this list of things that okay, this is really bad. My husband already knows and he still is married to me. But I had this list of things that I was not going to ever marry in a man. And then I met my husband and it all went out the window. And I'm serious, like everything on my list that I said, I will never date this kind of person. And I will never date a person like this or like that. And what's wrong with me? My list was shattered. And so I have those for real life. And then I've had things I've said before I had kids. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to go with the flow and do my best here. Okay, so here's my confessional. I have that problem as an author too. There were definitely things that I told myself naively, I am never going to be that type of writer, or I am never going to be that type of author. In general, just don't do that. It doesn't work out well. There are things to stick with that are great, but I have found that whenever I say I'm not going to do that, or I'm not going to be like that, or I would never ever do that, those things come to haunt you later. Okay, so I said before I started writing, do you see how hard this is? I really am struggling. I informed myself that I would never, ever be the kind of writer or author who would write a love triangle. Okay, I technically don't have a love triangle. That's my opinion. But there are 3 people who are not in a comfortable situation in my books. I really did say I'm never ever going to do that love triangle thing because I hate it. I hate love triangles in books. But the thing that you come across as an author, or that I've come across, I don't have a choice. These people do what they want, and this plot does what it wants, and it has its own direction. And I have joked in my blog before, and these are blogs I'm going to pull up too. I've joked about me pulling my characters in my office and giving them stern talking tos and telling them what they should and should not be doing, but they don't care. I'm not important. So I'm writing book 2, right? I'm writing the beginning of book 2, and at the same time that I'm writing book 2, I'm developing the rest of the 8 books that I haven't written yet, including book 2. And here's what happened. And I have written, so some people who have been around my blog long enough know about this, but I introduce David in book 2, right? So, and I have said this before, I am a method writer or a method author. I don't know that exists, but it is what it is. So I'm sitting there on the front lawns of the castle, and David comes strolling up the yard, or the lawns, because they're technically lawns, and I'm like, woohoo! because I love David. And David is supposed to come and just push and grow Charlotte and be some of who I needed him to be for her. And I just loved introducing him. And he's one of the odd characters because I have 4 central characters, right? David's one of them. But 2 of them aren't technically introduced. There are hidden tidbits of them in the first book, but you don't actually get to meet the other 2 till book 2. So David comes strolling up the lawns, and he's not alone. Oh my goodness. This is like the defining moment in my series. David brought a friend. He did not ask me. He did not inform me. I had no clue until his friend just starts walking up the lawn behind him. And I've already, at this point, David comes first. He's introduced himself to me. He hands me like his little resume or whatever, or things he plans to do in the books. And I'm like, I'm on board. But some of the stuff that he does just kind of knocked me on my butt, just to be honest. But I've recovered. I've stood back up at this point and dusted my butt off. And I've introduced him to the other characters, and it's going fine. And then this other character starts walking down the lane, and I'm like, no. Because Vincent had such a strong personality. I knew he was trouble when he was walking towards me. So he's all walking all slow-mo up the castle lawns, and I go out to meet this guy. I kind of like, guys, stay back to my other characters. And so I go up to him, and I'm like, no, because I already know what he's planning to do and who he is. And I say, buddy, you don't fit in this book. It's not going to happen because I have morals, dude. I have things that, I say morals, maybe not the best word. I have plans, and you don't fit into these plans, and you don't fit into these books. And I told myself, this is not going to happen. Do you think he cared? No, that dude didn't care. He was my first character who was just born an adult. David was somewhat close to that a little bit, but Vincent's my character who just had this full backstory. He had places he was going. He had places he wanted the storyline and the whole series to go. And I'm like, dude, it's not going to happen. And this is how sad and pathetic I am. I was like, hey, when I get done with Charlotte and her story, I like you. You're awesome. I think you could be a main character. So let's have a series about you later. Do you think he cared? No. He didn't listen to me. He just kept walking up. That dude knocked me on my knees. I tried to get rid of him, people. I seriously did. I am so sorry for my people who were like... I kind of had mixed reactions whenever people started getting the hint of Vincent. I had people who were definitely like, I'm sorry, Ames, but I can't go here with you. It's not going to happen. And then I had people who were like, I kind of like this Vincent guy. And the beginning me was like, I kind of do too. And so this really is scary for me, just to be honest, to be revealing some of this stuff. So anyway, here's the thing. I said I would never do a triangle. It's not exactly a triangle, I promise you. I did say soon after I introduced him in my blog that this story, above all, is about Charlotte and her journey. It's not about Charlotte and Beau. It's not about Charlotte and so-and-so or so-and-so. It's not about Charlotte and or. This is about Charlotte and her journey. And, guys are going to come into play because she's just that age. But that's how it is. And you'll see later what I mean by it's not exactly a triangle. But it kind of is. Do I have to admit that? Yeah, I do. Because there's definitely that tension and that aspect of Vincent. Because He is so magnetic. So I guess I'll have to like have another video later on that, but I didn't ever want this to turn into like a team thing, you know, where you've got a team Bo and a team Vincent. I guess you could, but not exactly. I wouldn't go jumping on team Vincent yet. I'm sorry about the triangle thing. I really, really did mean to not ever do this situation. But there you go. Whenever you say in life you are never, I am never ever going to be the kind of author who does this. You're just asking for it. Or maybe it's just me. Am I the only person who says, I'm not ever going to do this, or I'm not ever going to think this, or I'm not ever going to be like this? And then it just kicks me in the butt or later. I don't understand. But anyway, so this is my beginning confession. There will be more vlogs about this later. Do I have a favorite? That's an interesting question. I've told you before that I don't really do favorites with my characters. And so that's why I guess why I never wanted there to be a team, because I hated the team stuff. Because here's the thing, I'm going to be honest. Whenever you have these triangle things set up, me as a reader, I always want the one that doesn't get the girl. And so that's why I didn't want to do a triangle, because I am team loser in general in life. So don't do teams. I'm telling you, it's not, just trust me. Trust the author, even though the author says she's not in control and she doesn't get to say what the characters are going to do. Just trust me. This isn't exactly a triangle. It is something, it's more of a, if you say like a love triangle is like a two-dimensional, it's more of a three-dimensional kind of situation, but not even three-dimensional. I would say no, because I think that causes a different set. I'm going to say it's another dimensional. And I will talk more about this, and we'll get more to these confessions, and I will tell you more secrets later. But for now, that's my exhausting secret, that I introduced a Vincent in the story, not by choice. Anyway, thank you for being hidden away in my little confessional with me. I will talk to you later. I will bring more confessions. We will talk about this Vincent Bo thing more, but it will be later. Battle bravely, love strongly. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye.